Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. In today's class, you're not going to need any props and we will get started. Just sit cross-legged and you can just start with your hands on your knees and sit up nice and tall and just take a nice big inhale and then exhale. Think about sitting up a little taller, letting your head float on top of your spine, and then another inhale and exhale. This time on your inhale, you're going to lift your chest forward. You can gently look up. Just make sure you're not looking all the way at the sky. And then exhale, reach your hands into your knees as you gently round back. And then press into your hands into your knees as you lift up on your inhale. And then exhale, round back. Inhale, sit up tall. 2 more. And lift. And last one. Good, and then from here, reach your left arm out long, right arm out long, and then just side bend up and over, making sure not to collapse through either side. Your shoulders are nice and relaxed. And then round forward and think about reaching your sitting bones back behind you, reach your arms in front of you, and then just let your head round down. Take a breath here, and then walk over to the right, reach your right hand out, and then your left arm up and over again, making sure not to collapse. Still finding that stretch and length. A big breath here, breathing into those top ribs, and then one more time, round down forward, and then slowly curl yourself all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. From here, you're going to come onto all fours. And just have your knees right underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Find a nice long neutral spine here. Take a big inhale. Feel your belly descend towards the floor, and then exhale as you start to lift that pelvic floor, drawing your abdominals up, giving a little tension through them. Inhale. Fully let it go. Exhale. And lift. Good. From here, curl the tailbone under, round your spine up towards the ceiling, bringing your abdominals with you. And then uncurl, widening the sitting bones, finding length through the front of your body. And again, curl your tailbone under, round up. One more time, lengthening your spine. And then round all the way up. Good, come into a nice neutral position here, and you're going to take your left hand and you're going to bring it behind your head. And then press your head gently into your hand, and you're just going to reach and rotate up, looking over, or underneath rather, your left arm, and then rotate it down, looking towards the right side, and then reach it up for a little thoracic mobilization and a nice stretch. If you're not going very far, especially first thing in the morning, don't worry. Once more, opening up to the left. And then square yourself up, lower the left hand. One more cat-cow, round your spine up towards the ceiling, drop your head. You can shake your head out here, and then uncurl, find a little length, and that small extension, and then find your neutral spine, hand behind the head on the right side, and then open up to the right, looking under your right arm, and then reach it down, looking over to the left, and then back up. And down. Good. One more here. And then square yourself off, lower down, and then bring your knees wide and sit your heels back towards your butt rather back towards your heels. Reach your hands forward, and then just let your forehead gently come onto the floor, and you can rock back and forth from one side to the other, just starting to wake up a little. Good, and then square yourself off here, and then you're going to come up into kind of a little kneeling plank position. You can be somewhere between a kneeling plank and all fours, and then just send your hips back and over to the side and around, making a nice circle here. We're going to do 3 in each direction. Make sure you're really feeling your weight through your hands, and then at the top, you're going to rotate. Back in the other direction. One more, I think we did 4 on the other side. Good, find yourself in center, bring your knees back underneath you, and then you're just gonna reach your left hip up towards your left shoulder and look over your left shoulder. Finding length in your right side, then come back to the center and switch sides. And lengthen. And over to the left. Good, staying in neutral spine, so you're not rounding, you're just side bending here. And lengthen. One more time to each side. And to the right. Good, and then from here, you are going to come onto your back. So, gently lower yourself all the way down to your back. You can start with your head on the ground, and you're going to make a little triangle for your hands, and you're going to place the heels of your hands on your hip bones and your fingertips on your pubic bone. And just take a nice big inhale here. And on your exhale, just let yourself get heavy on the floor and notice where you're at. Like maybe your back ribs are wanting to reach off the ground, maybe your low back is pressing, maybe your ribs are flaring. Multiple of these things is also possible. And then take a big inhale and exhale, tip your pubic bone up towards the ceiling, and then curl your tailbone under gently, hips stay on the ground, but make that space between the low back and the floor disappear. And then you're gonna bring yourself back to neutral, and then you're gonna find a little arch in your back as you dip your pubic bone towards the floor. And then come back to neutral, and then on your exhale, feel your abdominals descend a little as that low back presses into the ground, and then on your inhale, release. Exhale, find a little tip in the opposite direction. Now you're gonna start to make your little kind of pelvic rock here. Be a little bit smaller as you go back and forth until you find a nice neutral pelvis, where you're somewhere in between. And if you were to lift up your head and look, more or less your hands would be flat on your body. And then you're gonna bring your hands behind your head, support your head with your hands, curl your chin just a little bit, and then you're gonna inhale. On your exhale, you're gonna lift up, feel your ribs slide towards your hips. Again, head is pressing into your hands, you're not jutting it forward, and then lower all the way back down. Think about lengthening through the back of the body as you lift without crunching through the front, and then lower all the way back down. 3 more like this. If you can get your shoulder blades off the mat, that's awesome. If you can't, I'm not there yet again. Don't worry about it. It's a nice goal. And just make sure that when you're lifting up, you're also not pressing your chin into your chest. You want to keep a little space. 1 more. Good, and then you're gonna lower all the way back down, and then you're gonna lift your right leg into tabletop, take a big exhale, inhale, and then on your exhale, float your left leg up to meet it. From here, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. You can leave your hands behind your head, or you can bring them long by your sides, whichever you prefer. And you're just gonna do a toe tap on that right leg, lowering it down towards the floor, and then pick it back up. Inhale, exhale, lower. And back up. Good. Making sure that your abdominals are not pressing up towards the ceiling, that you're not rocking into an arch as you lower. Being attacked by mosquitoes. And then over to the right. And left. Make sure your head is reaching back. You're not jutting that chin forward or pressing it into your chest. 1 more time with the left leg. Keep those legs in tabletop. Lower your head all the way down. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and now you're going to press your arms down if you lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then release all the way back down. 3 more. Press down like you're pressing through molasses, reaching long through the fingertips, thinking about your ribs sliding toward your hips. And down. Last one. Pause here, stay up. Bring your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg, and then slowly switch. And switch. Good, you want to think about opposition. So as you pull your left knee or one knee into your chest, you're reaching long out of the toes of the other leg. And you're moving nice and slowly, which sometimes makes it harder. Last time to the right. And to the left. And then you're going to bring both knees in and then lower your head all the way down. And then you're just going to make little circles, pressing your hands into your kneecaps like you're stirring a pot with your femurs, and then reverse. Good. You're going to lower your left leg down, and then you're going to extend your right leg long. You can bring your hands behind your head and curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. If you'd like, you can also do this with your head on the ground. You're going to flex your right foot, lift, and then reach so long out of that right heel that your leg just floats up, and then lower it back down. And then again, reach and float it up, and lower down. Check in with your hips, make sure they're nice and square. You're not rocking weight into one side or the other. And lift. And lower down. Last one, pause here. And then you're going to point your toe, lift your leg all the way up, flex and lower it all the way back down. Making your range of motion even bigger here for your single leg lift and lower. Again, head staying lifted. And point and lift, flex and lower. Giving your hips a little bit more of a challenge to stay nice and still. Last time up, pause, bend your knee if you need. I'm going to lower my head, but you can keep yours lifted. We're going to do circles. So you're going to circle your leg out, down, around, and up. And then again, out, down, around, and up. Hips stay nice and square. If your head is lifted, you're still reaching those ribs towards your hips. And if your head is on the ground, you're keeping the distance between your ribs and your hips the same. And the weight is even. You're not pouring all the weight into the right side of your hips. And your left leg is staying nice and still. Pause at the top, reverse your circle. Cross the body, out and up. And here, bent knee, perfectly straight leg, pointed, flexed, doesn't matter. Just make sure that the initiation is coming from the top of that thigh, and you're really focusing on moving the femur in the hip socket. One more in this direction. Good. Bend the knee. Bring the hands behind the head, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up if you are not there already, and you're going to extend your right leg long, and then bend it in. And extend it long, and bend in. Two more like this, and we're going to add on. Last one. Pause with your right leg bent, and now you're going to curl up and over towards your right leg. Think about reaching your left ribs to your right hip, and then square yourself off. And then twist and rotate. The knee does not need to reach the hip. Twist and rotate. 3 more. Making sure to press your head back into your hands. 2. Last one. Pause in your rotation, and you're going to extend your right leg, bend it in for 4. 3, 2, and last one. Good. And then square yourself off. You're going to bend over, and as you rotate back to the center, you're going to extend the right leg, twist and rotate as you bend the leg in. Extend, twist, and bend. Making sure you're breathing here. Abs are not reaching up towards the ceiling. They're staying nice and engaged through the breath, the lift of the pelvic floor. 2 more. And last one. Good. Pause here. Lower the leg all the way down. Lower your head down. Bring your left knee into your chest. And think about reaching long out of that left leg, or right leg rather, pointed or flexed, doesn't matter. Think about pressing your thigh down on towards the ground to get a nice stretch through your hip flexor. You can move your left knee out towards the left or a little bit more into the center, wherever feels good for your stretch here. Good. And then bend your right knee, extend your left leg long, bring your hands behind your head, find yourself here in a nice neutral pelvis, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, reach long out of the left heel now, and then float it up and lower it back down. Think about lifting from the inner thigh into your pelvis, into your abdominals, and that is what's doing the work here, inner thigh, psoas, and your abdominals. If it's helpful, you can literally take your hand, put it on your thigh, and pull back as you lift. If That's a good cue for you. Make sure your chin is not resting on your chest. 3 more. 2. And last one, point the toe, lift it all the way up, and then flex and lower down. Point and lift, and flex and lower. Lift, and lower. 4 more. Make sure you're really rounded through the upper body. You're not just hanging out with your head looking up towards the ceiling. You really want to think that your gaze is at your legs because your spine will follow your eyes. 1 more. Lift. I'm going to lower my head. You can leave yours lifted. Bend your knee if you need. You're going to cross over to the right and then down, around, and up. And cross. And lift. 5 more in this direction. We're doing a total of 8 to each side. Right leg is still. Hips are nice and square. Around, down, and up. 2. And last one. And then pause and reverse. 3. Down, around, and up. 2. Last one. And then bend that knee into tabletop. Hands back behind your head. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. If you've had your head lifted the whole time, go ahead and lower it and then re-lift it. Extend the left leg long and then resist to bend it back in. And extend it long. Bend in. 2 more. And last one. This time you're going to bend and hold. And then take a big inhale, and then on your exhale, slide your right ribs over toward your left hip, and then release to come back down. Twist and rotate. And down. Don't worry about your knee reaching your shoulder. Knee reaching your elbow, not your shoulder. That would be a little difficult. 3 more. And twist. Good. Hips are nice and square. That right leg is totally still. Last one. Stay rotated. Extend the left leg and bend it back in. And extend and bend. Good. 5 more. 3. 2. Last one. And then you're going to twist to the center and extend the leg. Bend and rotate. And extend. Bend and rotate. And in. Good. Again. Head is pressing into your hands. And your chin is not on your chest. 2 more. And then we have that nice hip flexor stretch on the left side. Last one. Good. Extend that leg long, lower your head, and bring your right knee in toward your chest. Reach long through your left leg. Think about pressing that thigh down towards the ground, getting that nice hip flexor stretch. Again, move your right knee wherever feels good. For that stretch. And then you're going to bring both knees in, and you're going to come into a little ball, but not so much of a ball that your low back is on the ground. So a ball in neutral. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Extend the arms, extend the legs, and then circle the arms around, bring them in to reach your shins. And then extend and circle around. Not having the arms go so far overhead that you are lifting up the back ribs or putting extra pressure in your neck. And then again, the legs don't need to come very long. You can also do this coming from that little ball to a tabletop and then just circling the arms in and bringing them in if you need to modify. Making sure your abs are not pressing up towards the ceiling. You're starting your breath before you move. 2 more. Gaze at those thighs or knees. Last one. Good. Have the hands behind the thighs, and now let yourself come all the way into that ball. You're going to curl your head, neck, and shoulders up as you start to press your hands into your thighs, and then keep pressing your hands into your thighs until you find yourself in a little supported teaser here. Knees can be bent or straight. Good. Bend the knees in. Think that you have a string from the tailbone or sitting bones to the heels as you resist yourself back down. You can lower the head if you'd like, bring the knees all the way in. We're going to do 2 more of those. Press the hands into the thighs, into the hands rather, as you curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Bring the ribs towards the hips. Keep pressing the thighs into the hands, and then find the lift of your chest, length through those legs. Take a big inhale here, and then on your exhale, start to curl down like you're doing a little roll down, and then bring the knees in so you're nice and controlled, and lower all the way down. Last time, we're going to stay up. Press the hands into the thighs, ribs towards the hips. Rock yourself forward, chin off the chest, lift through the chest. Again, bend your knees here if you need, and you're going to lift your left arm and then your right arm, and you're going to find yourself in a nice teaser here. And then you're going to bend your knees down, and then you can just round forward over your legs for a moment. Bring your hands back behind you, and then bring your legs about as wide as your mat, and then just windshield wiper. You can have your heels closer or farther away from your butt, whatever sounds good. Whatever sounds good and whatever feels good, both of these things. Once more to each side. Good, and then you're going to bring your feet in so that they are parallel, legs parallel, hands behind you. You can either have your palms face you, face away from you, face out to the side. Whatever you do, make sure you keep a soft little bend in your elbows here so that you are not hyperextending your knees. Only lift as high as is comfortable. So from here, you're going to curl your tailbone under like we'd been doing. Send your sitting bones up the back of your legs like we do in a normal bridge, and then start to find length through the front of your body. Press through the arms without hyperextending those elbows, and then curl yourself all the way back down. Find a little space in the collarbones. If you need to bring your arms a tiny bit wider, go for that. Curl the tailbone under, lift yourself up into this reverse bridge here, and then lower yourself all the way back down. Once more, just getting a nice stretch through the front of the body. If it feels good here, you can let your head come back behind you, or you can stay looking down at your body, your choice. And then you're going to drop your hips down by your feet, and then shake your wrists out for a second. We're going to do a little tricep press here. So you have options. I'm going to do this with my hands facing away, but whichever feels good. You can either leave your hips on the ground. You're going to reach your arms back a little bit farther, and you're going to draw your elbows away from you and then press up as you lift your chest. Or you're going to keep your hands right where they were. You're going to lift your hips a few inches off the ground, and you're just going to bend your elbows back and press up. And bend them back behind you and press up. Like you're doing a little push-up. But don't think about lowering your body all the way to the ground. Just think about that bend in the elbows back and press up. If this is too much on your shoulders, you're going to come to a seat, and you're just going to press straight back, leaning slightly forward. We have 10 more. Lots of these. Very, very tiny movement. Good, keep breathing. You're in a nice neutral pelvis here, so you're not arching your back and you're not rounded. Your hips are just reaching straight towards the floor. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Good, lower your hips all the way down. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Sit up nice and tall. Have your knees bent if you need, and then you're going to reach your arms straight in front of you. Nod your chin, ears come between your biceps as you reach forward like you're coming over a beach ball. And then you're going to stack your spine up 1 vertebrae at a time. And then again, reach forward like you're peeling yourself up off a wall, but your low back stays there. And then peel yourself back up. Maybe after 1 or 2 of these, you can start to straighten your legs. If not, that works too. And peel yourself back up. Last one. Good, reach yourself all the way up and have your arms come out to a nice T here. You're gonna rotate towards the right, and you're gonna do 3 little pulses, and then back to the center. You can have your palms face towards the floor if you'd like. 1, 2, 3, back to the center. Actually, you're gonna bend your elbows, you're gonna put your hands on your shoulders, and then you're gonna rotate. And reach, reach, reach. Think about getting a little taller every time. Bend your knees as much as you need. Once more to each side. This way, with the hands on the shoulders, you can't lead with the arms. 2, 3. Good. And then reach the arms long. You can have your legs a little closer together, wherever feels nice. Just make sure you have plenty of space behind you. We're gonna roll down. So arms are nice and long. Make sure you're not starting in this position. You want your shoulder blades to be flat on your back. Curl the tailbone under. Start to feel the hips reach up towards the ribs, and like your sacrum is gonna be the first thing to reach the ground. So you wanna stay relatively upright through the torso to start. Keep curling under, reaching the sitting bones down the backs of your legs, and then roll all the way down. One vertebrae at a time. Reach the arms up overhead, but only so far that those back ribs stay on the floor. Press down through the arms, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Pause here, reach your ribs towards your hips, and then peel yourself up a little farther on your exhale. Good, pause here. Feel that draw in, a little more rounding through the upper body, round forward over your legs. Stack your spine all the way back up. We're gonna do 2 more of those. Go nice and slowly. Curl the tailbone under, start to reach the sacrum back like you have a little wheel here at your pelvis. Sacrum will be the first thing to touch the ground as you round down, down, down. Bend the knees if you need, grab onto the backs of the thighs, whatever you need. Hands reach back overhead. And then as soon as they're in your periphery, start to nod your head, neck, and shoulders up. Pause with the shoulder blades off the mat. Ribs towards your hips. Exhale, and then think about rounding forward over your legs like someone's holding you back. And then sit all the way up nice and tall. And we have 1 more. Take water if you need. Good. Curl the tailbone under. Think about that distance between your ribs and hips getting shorter, but from the ribs, not from the hips. Good. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. Shoulders are relaxed. Reach overhead. Hands in your periphery. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach your ribs towards your hips. Exhale. Think about drawing them in a little bit more. Chin is not reaching down toward your chest. It's lifted up a little bit. And round all the way over your legs. Sitting up nice and tall. Bend your knees. And then from here, you're just going to roll halfway back. And then bring your hands together. So you have like, I don't know, like you're doing the shark thing. And then you're going to rotate over towards the left. So now you are on the left side of your left leg. With those hands, you're going to curl halfway back and halfway up. Halfway back and up. Keep drawing those abdominals in. Think about the rib to hip connection. Staying and getting a little smaller. 2 more. And last one. Pause in the center, rotate to the center, and then small pulses up and down. You make these as small as you need. Hands still stay together. 2 more. Breathing as you go. Pause back, rotate to the right, and then up and down. Those legs stay still. They're not coming in and out towards one another. For 3. 2 more. We're going to do 2 more now because I can't count. Good. Neck is nice and long. Last one. Back to the center. Grab on behind the thighs. And then come all the way back. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Head is planted flat on the ground. And then if you can, you're going to grab your feet with your hands, or you're going to grab your shins. Whatever feels good. Think about reaching the tailbone down, so you're coming to this happy baby position. And then you're going to rock back and forth from one side to the other. Just giving your sacrum and low back and upper back a little massage here. Good. And then from here, you're going to plant your left foot down and your right foot, not hand, feet. Make sure your head is firmly planted on the floor. Arms are pressing into the ground by your side. And then think about letting your upper arm externally rotate so it's pressed into the floor, but also so you have nice and openness through your collarbone. Curl the tailbone under, and you're going to round yourself up into a bridge. Good. Heels are drawing up towards your shoulders. Feet are pressing firmly down through the ground. Tailbone is tucked under, so you have a nice long line from your shoulders up to your knees. And then slowly curl all the way back down. And then again, do that little pelvic tilt. And then keep that pelvic tilt going. Sitting bones reach up the back of your legs as you peel yourself all the way up. And then all the way back down. Good. One more time as you go. And then peel yourself all the way back down. Really feel your ribs melt towards the ground. Find that connection with the back ribs and the floor. And this time you're going to curl yourself all the way up and you're going to stay there. Pretend that you have like a dowel coming through your hips. And so from here, someone's pulling you over to the right. So you're keeping your hips nice and square, but you're sending the right hip towards the right. And then send them back to the center. And then your hip goes over to the left. Knees keep reaching long, back to the center, over to the right. Like the thing on top of a typewriter. And center, left, and center. These are called typewriters for a good reason. And center, one more time to the right. And to the left. Good. Coming back to center here, and now you're going to lower your right hip, lift your left, so you're rotating your pelvis towards that right side, and then square yourself off and over to the left. And center, and right. And again, still reaching long through those thighs. The knees are reaching away from you. You're not dropping all the way to the floor. You're just rotating your pelvis around your spine and your femurs. One more time to the right. Last time to the left. Good. Pause here. And then find a little bit more of a neutral pelvis here. So you may have a very tiny crease in the front of your hips. You're not pressed up as much. That's totally fine. Put your weight into your left leg. And then you're going to bring your right leg up in tabletop. And then bring that right leg down. And bring it back up. Your hips are staying nice and square. So the right hip isn't dropping. Your left leg is not falling out to the side. Your knee is straight in line with the rest of your body. You're staying parallel. Last one, lifting this right leg. Lower the right leg. Put all that weight into the right side. Float your left leg off into tabletop and then lower it down. And just tapping the toes or the full foot to the floor, nice and gently. Also check in that you haven't started to hike that left hip up towards your shoulder. 2 more. And last one. Curl the hips under. Round yourself all the way back up. If it feels good, lift your arms up and reach them overhead. And then think about holding on to an imaginary pole here and then slowly peel yourself down one vertebrae at a time, trying to find a little extra stretch, a little extra length as you lower all the way down. Bring your knees into your chest. And then gently rock back and forth from one side to the other. You're going to glue your knees together, and you're going to bring your arms out to a T, or you can have them be in cactus arms, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go cactus arms because I have a little step next to me. You can have your knees a little past 90 or bring them right to 90, your choice. You're just going to let those knees fall over to one side. Your hip is going to lift, but your shoulder is going to stay on the ground. Draw your abdominals in as you come back. So inhale as you fall the legs over to the left. The knees stay in line with one another, so your hips are picking up off the ground. And then exhale, draw yourself back. I like to think that I have a little string attached and I'm pulling myself back, but to get there, I start with my upper back and then all the way to my lower back and my hip. Over to the left. And center. One more time to each side. Last one over to the left. Good. Now from here, bring your legs down to the ground, and then you're going to let them fall over to the left, you're gonna have your left arm out or tucked underneath your head, whichever feels better for you. I'm gonna have my arm straight out, and then bring your right hand behind your head. Press your head into your hand, and then you're just gonna let yourself roll open, but don't let your knees separate. So coming for a nice T-spine rotation here, again, with that arm bent so that you're not kind of overstretching through just the shoulder. You're really getting the rotation through your back. And think that you have a hand on your spine, right in between or right below your shoulder blades. And you want to try to breathe into that hand. Relax your shoulders. And then you're going to come back forward, and we're going to open up one more time to the right. One more breath here. See if you find a little extra space. Also check in on that right shoulder that you're not reaching it up towards your ears. And then gently come all the way back. And then you're gonna flip over to your other side. I'm going to spin around. Reach long through that right arm. Your knees are more or less at hip height or a little bit below, and your left hand is now behind your head. You're just gonna reach through that right arm as you rotate out to the left. Take a few deep breaths here. Again, relax that shoulder on the left side. Maybe you need to relax on the right side as well, but think about finding that length, breathing into your back ribs. One more breath here. And then come back, rotate towards your right arm, and then again, reach through that right arm, take one more gentle twist. I have a baby staring at me through the window. And then come all the way back. And then you're gonna plant your left hand down, and then come onto all fours again. Good. From here, we're gonna do this on our forearms, not on our hands. Good. So find yourself in a modified all fours position, and you're gonna extend your right leg back behind you. And then from here, with your leg reaching long, make sure that your abdominals are reaching away from the floor, not sucking them in, but again, finding that engagement. And then you're gonna reach through those right toes as you float the leg up just in line with your body, and then tap it back down. And then reach and lift up and back down. Make sure you haven't shifted your weight all the way over to the left. You're staying more or less square, especially through those hips. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Leave that leg lifted, bend at the knee, flex the foot, reach it long. You're keeping your thigh where it is, and then bend it, and then extend. Think that you have like some sort of resistance that's attached away from your head, and that you're pulling it in, using that hamstring to bend that foot. Bend your knee rather, not your foot. 2, and last one. Good. Extend that leg long, and now you're going to reach it over towards the left side of your mat, and then sweep it up to the right side of your mat. So a little semicircle here. Again, hips stay nice and square. You can check in on them, but then try to return your neck to a nice neutral position. And over. 2 more. To the left, and right, and left. Last one. Right, and left. Good. Bring that knee in underneath you. You can shake your wrists or elbows out if you need, and then when you're ready, come back into the same position. Again, find a nice neutral. Extend through the left leg, reach back through the hamstring, float the leg up, and then tap it down. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Neck is long, gaze is at the floor or your forearms. Hips are square. Make sure that you're not reaching all of your weight into that left side. Your left arm should be doing quite a bit of work to compensate for your left leg being in the air. 2. And last one. Leave that leg lifted, flex the foot, reach the heel towards the butt. Extend it long, thigh does not move in space. You can think about opening up the back of your knee as you extend your leg, if that helps you keep it still in space. For me, that is always a super helpful thought. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Leave it long, reach your leg all the way over towards the right side of your mat. Lift it up for that little semicircle. Foot pretty much stays, and knee stay pointing towards the floor. No real rotation here. And over to the right and left. 4 more. 3, 2 more. Got to make sure your neck is nice and relaxed. And last one, over to the left and right. And then straighten that leg, bring it back underneath you. Good, bring your hands right underneath your shoulders and walk your knees back, and then gently lower yourself all the way down onto your stomach. Get your hair out of the way if it's a mess and in your face. And then bring your hands right next to your shoulders or right underneath your shoulders. Forearms are on the mat. You're gonna press your arms and forearms into the mat as you curl your upper body up, reach your shoulder blades gently, not thinking about pulling them down, but just think of as you lift, they slide down towards your hips. Pause here. Make sure you have weight in your hip bones evenly and your pubic bone, and your abs are not pressing into the floor. And then lengthen through your torso as you lower all the way back down. Again, press those arms into the mat as you float up. Neck is long, not looking straight ahead of you. And back down. 2 more. And last one. Good. And then lower all the way back down. You're going to make a little pillow for your hands. And then from here, just give yourself a little shake from one side to the other. And then you're going to float both legs up. Reach so long through the toes that your legs float off the ground. Your thighs may not lift. That's totally fine. Lower them down. Upper body stays nice and relaxed. Hips and pubic bones still pressing into the mat. Abdominals not. They are engaged through your breath to remain in place, or maybe descend slightly. Lift. Last one. And then we're going to combine this all. Good. From here, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, and you're going to press yourself up. We're going to stay on our knees to start, but then if you want to move into full plank, you are more than welcome to. Either way, you're going to curl the tailbone under so that you're a little bit open through the hips, and lengthen through the front of your torso. I'm going to stay the whole time in a kneeling plank, and you're going to bend your elbows back behind you as you lower part of the way down towards the floor. Press away. We're going to do 6 of these right now. Neck is nice and long. You're not lowering your head faster than your body. 3. You're exhaling on the up, and you're taking your abs and your ribs with you. Last one. Good. So from here, we're going to lower all the way down slowly to the ground. So all the way to the ground, push up. You're going to reach your legs so long behind you, they lift up. You're going to lift your hands up so your torso is lifted. You're in a little swan here. You're going to lower everything down, nod your chin, press yourself all the way up. We're going to do 6 of these total. So you're lowering all the way down in a nice controlled push up to the floor. If you want to bring your arms back behind you as you reach up into your full swan, you can. Lower your arms down and then press yourself all the way back up with control. Full push-up variation would look like this. Reach long through the heels, the crown of your head. You're lowering all the way down. Reach yourself up. I like to have my arms back behind me. And then curl those toes under. Press all the way up. Again, returning to my knees. We have 3 more, nice and slow. Lift. Curl the toes under. If you're in that full push-up, press up. Exhale on your lower. Inhale, lift up. Lower the hands down. Take an extra breath here if you need. And exhale, press up. 2 more. Good. As you're lifting up into that swan, you are keeping your hips and pubic bone pressing into the floor. Abs lift away. Reach to the arms and the triceps, or rather the feet, and then press yourself all the way up and come back into a nice child's pose. And then walk yourself over to the left. Reach long through your right sitting bone and right fingertips to get a good stretch here. And we're just going to finish with one more thing. Walk over to the right, or yeah, you're right now. Sitting bone. Reaching long behind you, arms reaching in front of you. And then you're going to walk yourself forward. You can either do this in a full plank to a down dog or a child's pose to a modified plank. So find your preferred plank either way. Tailbone tucked under, ribs drawing towards your hips, neck nice and long. Lift your hips up towards the air or back towards your heels, and then slowly uncurl yourself nice and slowly here. That is the name of the game, into a nice plank. Lift the hips up. Feel like someone's pulling you back pulling back from behind you, and slowly uncurl yourself. You have 4 more. Lift up. The name of this class is going nice and slowly. Uncurl. And lift. Good. And again, uncurl your spine. Find that length. Hips up or back. Last one. Good. Hold here for a breath. Inhale, find that length. Reach out of the heels, the feet, the crown of your head in opposite directions. Press away from the floor. Abs are reaching up. Bend your knees down. And then find yourself in one last child's pose. Really breathe into your back of your body. Feel your ribs expand wide to the side. And then find yourself sitting cross-legged on your mat. And we will end just how we started. So you're going to reach your right arm out to the side bend up and over. Just notice if you have a little bit more reach now. And then round forward. Walk your hands in front of you. Keep reaching back with your sitting bones, so you're not just collapsed over your legs. And then over to the left, reach your right arm up. Finding length through that right side. And then round yourself all the way forward again. And then slowly stack your spine all the way up. Reach your arms wide up to the side, and then externally rotate. Press down through the arms, relax the shoulders. Find a little extra length here.